Hello everybody, so yesterday I did kind of a patch notes rundown, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on resistances and how defenses are going to change today. So prior to the Season of Blood, if you had three sources of 20% resistance, the first source would provide 20, the second would be 16, and the third source would add 12, totaling 48.8% resistance. So you can see that you were getting like way less the more you stacked it. So now with the Season of Blood, if you have 30%, 20%, you will actually have the 50% total resistance, and there's going to be a cap at 70%. They also made it to where armor now only does physical, not non-physical. So this is going to add an interesting way of doing this. So World Tiers 3 and 4 are going to apply a penalty to your resist all stat instead of a multiplier. Single resist affixes can now roll on pants. Single resist affixes now contribute a maximum value of 35% resistance for a fully upgraded normal item, 48% for sacred, and 65% for an ancestral. So depending on what you're fighting, what content you're doing, it could potentially be worth it. I would imagine it won't be. I don't think single stat's going to be it. I think it's going to be trying to find a way to get all resist. I could be wrong about that, but if you look here, you know, I mean, 65% for an ancestral piece, that's pretty much the cap right there. That's pretty intense, right? All resist affixes now give a maximum value of 9% resistance for a fully upgraded normal, 12 for a sacred, and 16% for an ancestral. Ring inherent affixes now give percent resist to all elements and percent single resistance instead of two single resistances. So the maximum value is going to be 6/6 for a fully upgraded normal item, 8/8, and then 10/10. So you'll get 10% to all, and you'll get 10% to a single resist on your ring. And then it's going to be 24% resist all on your amulet, right? So right there you have 34%, and then you factor in, like the passive for Druid, like Ancestral Fortitude. Now all of a sudden you're at 40%. So I mean, you're already like more than halfway there then. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how we end up solving this. I don't know exactly what the answer is going to be yet, but this is something you're going to need to think about, and I didn't want you guys to be caught off guard if all of a sudden you're just taking way more damage. They do have a failsafe in there by putting this on the amulet, so if you're not super focused on it, you're not going to notice it. It's probably something you're going to notice later more than earlier, but it is something to be on the lookout for. So single resistance values on gems have been adjusted. So Royal 30%, 24, and then all resistance value on diamond gems have been adjusted, so Royal 5%. What we could end up seeing, potentially, is trying to stack all resist or something like that in our gems or something like that. I think that's potentially something we might see. I don't know, but it seems kind of likely. So single resist Paragon nodes have been adjusted to 10% and 5% on magic nodes. All resist have been adjusted to 3% and 1.5% on magic nodes. So we'll be able to get some all resist on our Paragon. We'll see if it'll actually be worth it to do that. I don't know. Single resistance elixirs are going to be 6% maximum resistance single, 30% resistance single for a tier 5 heady. Okay. Interesting. So then you have elixir of magic resist adjusted to 25% all resist. This could potentially be a way to do it because you can craft these at level 35 now instead of 90. So I mean that's 25%. Storm of the Wilds incense increases lightning, cold, and poison by 12% for every nearby player. I mean, this could make it to where groups is really necessary in order for you to get all of the resist you need, because you all need to run different incenses. That's again potentially something. So you can see that very much so. This is going to be a puzzle to solve. It'll be very interesting to see how it gets solved. But remember, with armor, it's going to be much easier to get, which I do like. So you're not going to have to do those weird things where you need to put this on your amulet anymore, like Disobedience, because you're going to get 66%. This is going to be the total armor affix on gear increased by 160, total armor on werewolf form and total armor on werebear form increased by 130%. So yeah, and then armor contribution, yeah, right. So you can see the changes there. But yeah, so it'll be much easier to get higher amounts of armor. So I'm not really so worried about the armor side of things. I'm more worried about, how are we going to do this? Because once you get into World Tier 3 and 4, how is that penalty going to affect it? Are we going to need to get 140% to make up, 120% to make up for this 50% penalty in order to still stay at the cap? How's this going to work? The only way we're going to know is once this goes live and we actually get to test it. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the changes to defenses. Just want to make sure you didn't get caught off guard by that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.